Good evening. Welcome you all. Good evening. Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here today once again. I think we have been going through this Tuesday evening rituals, I think for the last 9 weeks. Today is the 10th session of the webinar. But today, it's a slightly different topic. The last few sessions I have been doing mostly on mood disorders and then mostly on the bipolar, all like different things, case series and all that. So the last time I think something happened. I think that is where I said that, okay, right, let's see that. Okay, next time we'll take up this topic of counseling in Bhagwad Gita. Do I have a lesson? Surprisingly, there are about 50 questions on this. This questions has become a ritual again. Every time I do a topic, I used to invite questions saying that, okay, let there be some questions and then maybe either starting or in between, we used to discuss and then answer that. But even in this, there are about almost 50 questions and then let's see how we go about it. So the next few minutes, let me present to you the point of this is that I will make an attempt to present to you the concept of this Bhagavad Gita counseling, my concept. What do I feel, and then what is the kind of a concept I have? To start with, any of you, if you Google Bhagavad Gita, this is the kind of results. 1,060,000 results you get, not like you get in that whatever you call it, nanoseconds or milliseconds. Today, if I'm talking something about Bhagavad Gita, whatever you people say that's because started reading in English. Obviously, like I don't know Sanskrit and then Telugu, know that, but it's more of, so that's why I said that English translation is something which has given me introduction to that, which was done almost about 300 years back. Charles Wilkins, East India Company has published introduction by the first Governor General, Warren Hastings. He wrote, I really liked what he wrote. He's an Englishman who came to India and then read this, and then this is what he has to write. Beautiful. I think it's absolutely the kind of a thing what he wrote. The writers of the Indian philosophies will survive in the British dominion in India shall long have ceased to exist. This is in 1785 he was talking about. I hesitate not to pronounce the performance of great originality, sublimity of conception, reasoning and diction almost unequaled and a single exception amongst all the known religions of mankind. Such a beautiful thing. At this point, let me tell you, I'm going to talk about it, this religious scripture this is. But today's talk, I'll see whatever the best of my extent not to bring in any kind of a religious thing into this. That is why my slide is a disclaimer here. I look at Bhagavad Gita as it's a dialogue between two individuals. I am only interested in this dialogue and this counseling process. And then this is clearly acute situational anxiety, panic, depression, guilt is the predominant mood there, predominant thought process there. This is the main thing I am interested in, nothing else, sir. And very clearly, most of the psychiatrists here, I say that there's a question which has come also. Do you equate Bhagavad Gita to 90%? Absolutely no, sir. It is not applicable to bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, schizophrenia, or any other serious or psychiatric disorders. It's only in a transient, acute situational anxiety, panic, which I'll describe to you a bit later. So, there are lots of people here. How do you people take Bhagavad Gita? How do you perceive Bhagavad Gita? Is completely left to your choice, sir. Absolutely, I don't have anything. As I told, my interest is only in this and nothing more. If some of you say that it's just a story written by somebody dictated by some old man by name Vyasa, written by some young person, Ganesha, fine, no problem. It's a story which you all like. Or it could be an historical event happened sometime around 3000, sometime back. We don't know exactly. We see it's nothing but a battle between two of the cousins for their rights over a kingdom, Hastinapur. Think about it, it's a historical event or just a story. Or somebody thinks it's a great epic. There's some mythological value. Fine, no issue for it. Krishna and Arjuna are Narayana and Naranarayan. This is the two people. This is Avatara. And some of you say that Lord Krishna is avatar of Sriman Narayana. I'll leave it to you, because this is more of looking at the process, what happened in Bhagavad Gita, the dialogue, counseling. I am not at all bothered about what way you take it. It can be an extremely religious thing, or it can be simply a story from where we can get some inputs which can be useful to us. This is the only thing I talk about today. I acknowledge my learnings. Like some of these, writings, I keep reading once in a while. Swami Chinmayananda, Devidat Patnaik, and then Venkatachalam, Gudipati Venkatachalam. Some of the Andhra people here, they may be knowing about Gudipati Venkatachalam is one of the biggest atheists, but he wrote a book on Bhagavad Gita, and I fortunate enough to get my hands on that. Publications of that. This is where whatever I'm talking today has come from, plus my psychiatry background. So this is what it is. So it's left to you, sir. Absolutely left to you. I do not want to bring any religious connotation into this. Next, what I'll do is that I'll quickly go through. There are some 3 slides which are about 50 questions which have come. Quickly keep there and then run the slides so that all of you can read that also. Some of it where I can answer in yes or no or one sentence, I'll try to talk about it. But rest of it, maybe later we'll take it. And here, let me tell you, sir, actually, last few times, I was taking questions during my presentation, but this time, maybe I think I'll complete my presentation. If there are any kind of discussion, we'll take it up later. Now, let's see that. This is the first 25 questions. The very first question, I'm bold. I don't think I can answer this. It's a very, very difficult question. Where is consciousness located? And then somebody asked from Dubai, Subhash Pradhan, is there a method to counsel atheists? Perfectly, sir. Perfectly. If I can tell you, for quite a certain period of my age, I don't know whether you can call me an atheist or agnostic. I was very strongly in that. Atheists, I feel that sometimes they are much more spiritual. I'll come to it. I'll definitely come to it answer. How is existential theory explained? Beautiful question. I do talk about it later when that particular sloka comes. Existentialism, humanistic, I do talk about it. Bhagavad Gita acts like antidepressant. No. There is nothing to do with that. Major depressive disorder treatment, I do not say that Bhagavad Gita can now take care of it. No, you need medication and that you may. How much of it plays a role in our life, it depends on how you take it. And then psychotherapy. Here again, let me tell you. Some of you may not like it, but still I say that. I generally refrain myself using this term psychotherapy because I don't want to use that. I have some points which are against this psychotherapy. That's why very specifically I titled my topic also counseling in Bhagavad Gita. I did not talk about psychotherapy in Bhagavad Gita. The psychotherapy business is it's a little bit. So wherever you say psychotherapy, I'll interpret this as counseling, sir, nothing more than that. So psychotherapy I can't talk about. This is a beautiful question, Dr. Srinivas, and different personality types. So today I may not be able to take it because personality types, as in Bhagavad Gita, 3 types, Sattva, Rajo, Tamah, Guna. It's a 2 chapters are completely on that. I may not be discussing much in that. And then how do we apply teachings in the current times? I think Bhagavad Gita is it's been relevant all along, maybe it last 5,000 years. Even today, I feel it's relevant. And then some of these things you see that, yeah, right, somebody asked here, that's correct. Why Gita only? Why not Bible and Quran? Maybe, sir. It's up to you. If you're going to talk something on Quran, which is some relevance to this, But let's, at the end of this talk, I would want to say that I don't want it to be religious. So if there is something, definitely let people talk. There's no problem at all. Absolutely, there is nothing about it. And somebody asked, which sloka would you frequently quote? I will not quote any slokas during my treatment, sir. Absolutely no. Maybe some of the principles and some understanding I talk about. I never have used any sloka unless it's a friendly chat. Don't do that. Yes, Jawad Saab, Varanasi. Sir, you said this sounds like Guru Chela therapy. It sounds like, I think what you said is correct. The Krishna, Arjuna, it looks like a guru, and then Krishna Mande Jagat Guru. Krishna and Arjuna. But I'll tell you, sir, this is definitely not Guru Chela. Arjuna is too smart, too tough. Now, like he's one of the typical Indians. I think, like you read that book, Argumentative Indian, Amartya Sen, he's one of that. I'll show you that. He's not one of the Chela kind of a person. So there are other questions like, somebody asked, did you get a lesson from Bhagwad Gita? Yes, I did. I did. There are one or two points which helped me in day-to-day practice, definitely. That's why I said that, do I have a lesson? That's it. Concept of karma, right? Some of those things, maybe later I'll be able to talk about it. Again, my answer is, will this Gita counseling be given to patients of all religions? Certainly. Certainly, why not? Definitely. Today I thought maybe I'll use two laptops. Some of the questions what I want to discuss is that definitely. I'm not looking at this as a religious scripture. This is a concept of counseling only I'm looking at. Whatever has happened, that's what I'm looking at that. And then how much relevant it is in the present lifestyle. I feel that there's a lot of relevance. One of the beautiful things is that even today that's relevant. How do you use therapy in children? Right. Role of spirituality in mood disorders. I don't say very specifically spirituality has got a role, but very, very, very generally. Right. Right. And once again, there is something about existentialism they are talked about, right? I'll come to that definitely. How to apply this technique? It's not that technique. Let us see that. Let us discuss some of those things, what Krishna talked about, and then see that if it is going to be useful, we'll definitely do that. It's an insight-oriented psychotherapy or assertive, right? That's not really. Then somebody asked, I think it's, let me again, once again, go to this question here. This is, which yoga is most suitable for counseling? Sankhya, Karma, Bhakti, which yoga? That's a Harihar. Sir, it's a combination. That's the beauty of it. It's nothing like it's one. As I'm going to say that it's going to be a menu card. There are different syntheses which have been used. That is where it can, you choose whatever you want. That is the beauty of this. That is the most important thing about this. Emotional resilience, it talks about day-to-day practice, definitely. Crisis intervention. The whole point of here is that it's a crisis intervention, nothing more than that. Now, actually, there is this question. I think maybe all of it, this is the entire, this thing is Dr. Pandari Parambi Sukumaran has sent a question from Thrissur. The whole thing is one question. Sir, beautiful. Thank you very much. I think the very first sentence is, very sorry, scientifically speaking, you don't have a lesson from Gita. I think he said very clearly that there's nothing you're going to learn from Gita. And then he is very, very particular about Chaturvarnam Maya Sristam. I think I completely understand, sir, what you're talking about. This Chaturvarnam has become one of the biggest critical point in the Hindu, like Hinduism, like that. I think that's been, every one of us have been criticized. This is not a surprise to me because for a long time, I was also criticizing that Chaturvarnam, and then I asked one of the teachers, and then I was asked just to get out. It's almost about 30, 40 years back when I asked that. I understand why you are asking this question, Chaturvarnam Maya Sristam, and then you say that Krishna is nothing more than a black Dravidian king Sambhavami yuge yuge. He has been brought into this world to Sanatana Dharma to impose on us. Right, sir. This is where I said that. I know, like in some of these things, I know if I can answer. You also talked about Adi Shankara and Advaita. I do maybe touch on that very clearly, sir. At the end of this talk, if I can at least answer some of these things, what you have now brought out here, I feel that I've done a reasonably good job. This is about a case which you talked about, Sri Narayan Guru. Maybe I won't talk about it. And now let's go on to the next, the main topic which I'll deal with next few. First of all, somebody said that this is 18 chapters of Bhagwad Gita. Starts with Arjuna Vishada Yogam, Sankhya Karma, Gnana Karma Sannyasa Yogam, Karma Sannyasa, Atma Samyama, Gnana Vijnana, Akshara Parabrahma, Rajavidya, Rajaguhya, Vibhuti, Vishwarupa, Bhakti, Kshetra, Kshetrajna Vibhaga, Gunatraya. This is what? Somebody asked about the personalities. So this is Gunatraya, and then Shraddhatraya talk about mainly those three personalities, Sattva, Rajo, Guna, and the Tamak Guna. Purushottama, Daivasura Sampada Vibhaga, Shraddhatraya, and Moksha Sannyasa. Somebody asked me, as a psychiatrist, what business you have got in talking about Bhagavad Gita? Oh, what is that? What the hell you have? I have only one answer, sir. The very first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is titled Arjuna Vishada Yogam. If there is Vishadam, there has to be a psychiatrist. I don't say that. I'm not saying that. See, every Vishadam you need a psychiatrist. We human beings have a phenomenal resilience. We can manage lots of ups and downs. But when that Vishadam gets extended, it becomes Vishadam and then becomes almost a chapter. I think you need a psychiatrist. So at this, I said that yes, psychiatrist talking about this, there's definitely relevance. I'm not totally out of context talking about Bhagavad Gita. Very first word in Bhagavad Gita, about 700 slokas, I said, no? Out of these 700 slokas, one sloka by Dhritarashtra, about 40-45 by Sanjaya, 75-80 by Arjuna, and about 550 by Krishna. See here, about 710, about 70-80 by the so-called patient here, Arjuna, 550 by Krishna. At this point, let me tell you, as a student, I was taught, when you're doing counseling, you are supposed to listen. As a therapist, you are supposed to listen to you're supposed to talk less and listen more. So for a long time, as a good student, I was doing that only. I was not like, I'll tell you, like I was only listening. Till one day, one patient, very smart, he's a software guy. He has been coming to me 3-4 sessions. So one day he asked me point blank, look, Dr. Reddy, I am not coming here every week and paying for your meditations. I'm coming here for some solution from you. Every time I come, you know, like look at me and go and keep on quiet. No, from that time onwards, I said that no. I think I should talk. Maybe I found somebody in Krishna that who talked more. The first word in Bhagavad Gita is dharma. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsavaha mamaka pandavascheva kima kurvata sanjaya. This is what Dhritarashtra told, that the first word is dharma. Last chapter, Moksha Sannyasa Yogam, 78 sloka is by Sanjaya. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharha, Tatra Sri Vijayodbhuti, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. First word is dharma. The last word is mama. Bhagavad Gita is nothing but mama dharma. It's my dharma, my values, my responsibilities, my rights, my relationships, and then my meanings in life. That everything about mine. Somebody asked a question that, is it relevant in the present day? Absolutely, sir. Me and then myself and then what about me is very, very relevant. That is what is about Bhagavad Gita, what I talk about. Mama Dharma. That is what about. Now let's go on to this, the next one. Yeah, right. I told you about Arjuna Vishada Yogam. Now I'll clearly say that why, other than Arjuna Vishada Yogam, why I was interested in this one, not like in Bhagavad Gita. Look at Arjuna here. Look at Arjuna here. Arjuna Vishada Yoga, right? Here, let me briefly give a background. Battle lines are drawn. Both the armies are stacked up. Arjuna comes in, and then when he comes in, both conches are blown. The battle is about to start. Arjuna tells Krishna, who is a charioteer, I want to see what the an enemy army is like. Take me to an advantage point. I want to go there. He dictates Krishna saying that Senayor Ubhayor Majje Radam Sthapaye me Achyuta. Senayor Ubhayor Majje, both the armies in the between. Radam Sthapaye, park my vehicle. Krishna takes him there. So till then Arjuna came prepared fully to fight the battle. He blew his conch also. Everything is prepared. He came to just want to have a bird's eye view of the enemy's army. When he came to the middle point, that is what he says. Then God knows what happened. God knows what happened. I don't know whether it is a few seconds or a few minutes, obviously not days. All hell broke loose. Sidanti mamagatrani mukhamcha parisushyati. Vepatuscha sarire me roma harshascha jayate. Sidanti mamagatrani. My limbs are not functioning. Vepatuscha sarire me. Whole body is trembling like that. Mukhamcha parisushyati. My face is going dry. Roma harshascha jayate. I'm developing goose skin. Gandivam samsate hastat tvak chaiva paridahyate nacha sekno mevastatum brahmativa cha me manaha. Gandivam, my weapon is slipping by my hand. I'm not nacha sekno mevastatum. I'm not able to stand. My knees are buckling. Brahmativa cha me manaha. There's a cloud. Everything is a cloud. This is what suddenly Arjuna becomes. Krishna is shocked. What happened? This man came in to fight, and then now he's typically anxiety symptoms like shivering, trembling of the body, goose skin, your palpitations, your weapons are dropping, you're feeling the hot flushes, you're not able to stand. And then you're getting into confusion, the cloud of confusion over you. Acute, that's what I said, that acute anxiety, panic situation. The kind of anxiety, panic very rapidly drifts into, that is one surprising thing here, that whatever you call it as an autonomic nervous system, the hyperactivity, sympathetic surge, then immediately slips into depression. Such an anxiety, then he says that Nakanche Vijayam Krishna, Nacharajyam Sukhanich, Kim no Rajyena Govinda, Kim Bhoga Jiviten. I don't want the victory, I don't want the kingdom, I don't want these things. No. He goes into a negative thought. Yetan nahantu michami, gnato api madhusudana, api trailokya rajyasya hetu kim namahikrita. I don't want to kill. Yetan nahantu michami. Hantum, I'm not interested at all in this killing. Ahobata mahat papam. Kartum vyavasita vayam. Mahat papam. See the word he uses. Ahobata mahat papam. Kartum vyavasita vayam. Yad rajya sukhalo bhena. Hamtum swajana mujjatam. We have come here to perform a great sin. Kartum vyavasita vayam mahat papam. Yet Rajam, just for the sake of this kingdom, we have come here to kill all our relatives. Acute anxiety, panic situation where is a weapon got dropped. Nakanshe Vijayam, I don't want the kingdom. I'm not willing to kill anybody. I am come here. Both of us, did we come here to perform this kind of a sinful act? Then he goes into completely a negative attitude, almost kind of a suicidal thing. Yedi ma mapratikara masistram sestrapaneha dhartarashtrarane hanyustanme chemataram bhavet. Yedi ma mapratikara, without any revengeful attitude, I forgot all the humiliations, injustices done on me, without asastra, without any weapons. Yedi ma mapratikara masistram sestrapaneha dhartarashtra, with all the weapons Dhartarashtra, Kauravas. Hanyustanme, even if they kill me here, it's good. Hanyustanme chemataram bhavet. So within the man who walked into the battlefield to fight, and he is the man the entire Pandavas are dependent on to a large extent. He was supposed to be a great archer. And within a few seconds and minutes, he gets into that anxiety state, he cannot stand, he slumps, and then he talks about a papam and then a sin, and then let them kill me, it's okay. It's a turn of Krishna to go into a shock. Finally, the last sloka of first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yogam, Visrujya Sasaram Chapam Soka Samvigna Manasam. Visrujya drops, Sasaram, arrows, and then Chapam, Dhanus. Soka Samvigna Manasam. You all know that what exactly that means. This is the state Arjuna was in. Anxiety. Sidante mamagatrani mukamcha parasishya. Gandivam samsate hasta. Anxiety and fear. Disconnect to the real world. From there, from anxiety, he goes into the sorrow state. Negative thoughts. Nakamche Vijay Krishna. I don't want any of these things. Why should I do that? Mahat Papam. Are we here to do all those things? Is it the purpose of our life? Preparing for a sinful act, killing my own guru center. Yadima mapratikara, even if I get killed in this war, it will be good. So look at, just imagine the similar kind of a situation. What happens within a few minutes, what happens to the entire background of it. What I say is that we have millions and millions of Arjunas around you going through the similar kind of thing every day. A bright student preparing the whole year for the exam, he is going to write his NEET exam, he is expecting a lot of not doing very well, walks into the examination hall and gets into total confusion. He forgets everything. Total. The random access memory, what you call it, that executive functioning, and then working memory goes blank. He doesn't know. Man knows everything. This man is a great archer. He has all the skills, but he goes blank. Another person, his aim is to get into IIMs. One of the Ahmedabad, he is preparing so hard to get into the 99 percentile in CAT. The exam, he goes blank. Another entrepreneur, he is working hard on the startups. He's doing good. He wants some funds. He goes to the Shark Tank. He wants to prepare, present them whatever this is. He goes blank. He gets into a kind of an anxiety. That moment, a few moments of anxiety, panic, you call it as a sympathetic surge or whatever it is, that's what makes a person totally you're in a different kind of a personality. What happens? This is what happened to Arjuna here. This slide, I think, beautifully describes the state of Arjuna. Arjuna walks in, looks at all his gurus and then cousins and all thing which gets represented in this. You have the hippocampal memory and then amygdala emotional memory comes in, surge. And then this is the state Arjuna is in. This one slide, I think, what you see there, and then the limbic, or like an hyperfunction, amygdala, hippocampus, and then search of this thing. He looks at my guru, my Drona, Bhishma, all these people, I'm going to kill, that emotional surge. He gets into this panic. This is one of the famous painting by, but now it's being used is here to describe Arjuna's state of mind and trying to correlate neurologically with what happens in limbic system hyperfunction. So, can I say here, the response of Arjuna was amygdaloid, emotional mind, amygdaloid and singular. The response of Arjuna, I don't want to fight. It is taken by himself alone. and it's in a surge of emotions, amygdaloid. But the background is Pandava's response was collective. All these people have been discussing about this for months together, and a collective decision they have taken to go for the battle, to go fight and then get their kingdom. And this was a cortical, cerebral cortex. It's a cortical decision, collective decision, which they have taken. After all these things, this man walks in and he takes gets this one. So, at this point, let me ask you. There's a lot of criticism on Krishna. See, let's not get into the consequences of what it is. The battle and then people getting killed. No. We are not looking at it. We are only looking at the decision. Your family takes collectively one decision. Everybody, this man is also part of the decision. And then you go to, whether it is buying that or selling that or whatever it is, and suddenly one of your family members says that I don't want to do that. What is that other family members and everybody well wishes do? Trying to convince him, no, man, this is what. Don't we do that? It's a common sense, and we all do that. That's what Krishna did. He's a friend, philosopher, guide. That's what Krishna did. I'm not looking at the consequences of that, but as a well-wisher, you say that, no, what you're doing is wrong. These people have taken the decision. You are part of this. And then you are suddenly behaving like this. No, man, this is not correct. Let us look at this. So, in that context, what Krishna did is correct. People may say that Krishna is a warmonger, and then because of him, there's so much of a like a human loss and all things. No, I'm not bothered about that. I'm only looking at this particular thing. Let us not stretch beyond certain things and then only looking at this. This amygdala is a deadly thing for all of us. I told you about 1, 2, 3, the student, the bright student, and then other guy, and then Shark Tank where he collapsed. This is a limbic system which is creating the whole lot of problems. This is a pictorial description of clouding of mind. Arjuna's mind is completely become a cloud, and then that is where he is not able to think rationally, effectively. And then who is this Arjuna? Right, that's also, lots of people there, people have this kind of thing, man. So what? No, he never had nowhere description of any neurotic traits. They have gone through the whole life, they have gone through adverse experiences. Aranya, Ajnatavas, tough times. Last 30 years or 25 years, it's a tough time they have gone through. And he's not somebody new to war. Just a few days before Uttar Gograhanam, he fought Kauravas and threw them away. He is a veteran of many battles. See, if I'm incompetent and I'm not able to fight the battle, that's a different issue. I'm competent. I did this many times. I'm successful in many times, but now I'm crumbling. That is what we need to understand. He entered the battlefield on his own. Nobody forced him. He is one of the party to the Pandavas' response. He's not against war, but suddenly this guilt, him becoming the cause for the death. Neural hijacking of rational mind by emotional mind. Can we call it? As students of science, can we? I said amygdaloid response. Now can I say that it's a neural hijacking of rational mind by emotional mind? That is the problem here. As people say that human being is a rational animal reacting emotionally. Rather, I would say that human being is an emotional animal trying to justify his actions rationally. The emotional so powerful, so much of and that's how it impacts. All right? The beginning, the end. Right. This is what I told. The last sloka, first chapter. Visrujya sasaram chapam soka samvigna manasam. You know, he dropped, he slumped on the chariot, and then mind is full of sorrow. This is first chapter 47 sloka. Second chapter 7 sloka. This is the reason why today I am talking about, and then what the reason my interest in Bhagwad Gita. Second chapter 7 sloka, Arjuna says, Sishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. I become your Sishya. I am falling on your feet. Tram Prapanyam. Sadhimam, please guide me. I am helpless. I'm totally gone. This is some like I think most of your psychiatrists, and this is what people come. No, doctor, I'm becoming very anxious. Doctor, I'm very sad. I can't do this. No, I don't feel like I get negative thoughts. I don't find interest in anything. Somehow do something. I'm not able to travel by flight because of severe phobia I get. So these are the things which we see. Second chapter, 7th sloka, this is the state of Arjuna. Sishasteham sadhimam tvam prapanna. Let us fast forward to the 18th chapter, 73rd sloka. 18th chapter has 78 sloka, 73rd sloka. Nasto moha smritir labda tat prasadan maya chuta sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. Nasto moha, my moham is gone. Smritir Labdva, I got all my memories back. I got all my memories how Kauravas humiliated me, punished me, and then injustice heaped on me. Sthitosmi, I'm sitting here. Gata Sandeha, all my doubts are cleared. Karishye, I'm ready for action. Vachanam, your word, Tava. Tava Vachanam, your word. My God. Sishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapanyam. Please do something. Please do something. 18th chapter, 73rd sloka. Nastu moha smritir labdha tat prasadan mayachutas. Sthitosmi gata sandeha karishya vachantava. The negative thinking, negative mood, negative cognitions, negative psychomotor activity has completely transformed into a positive energy, positive cognitions here. You can see that. Absolutely. Say that. Gata sandeha karishya vachanam tava. Right. What has happened between the second chapter 7th sloka and then 18th chapter 73rd sloka? What is that which happened? This is something which is some kind of an interest to me. Number one, let me tell you, this can happen. As I told you that we all have phenomenal resilience. We all come out of depths of like sorrow, negative thing. We develop coping skills, we build up our strengths and we'll come up. If somebody has come up on his own, I would not have thought about it. But here, this one word is very, very important. What Arjuna says, Tvat prasadan maya chuta, achyuta Krishna, this Tvat, your prasadam, this is your prasadam to me. Tvat prasadan maya chuta, where he is clearly stating that this transformation from here to here has been brought about by you. This is your prasadam to me. You mediated this, you facilitated this. You are the one responsible for my change from down the dumps to the like a high energetic, ready for action kind of a man. And then when I read this, don't you think as a student of psychology, as a student of some science student, don't you think anybody will be interested, especially as a psychiatrist or psychologist, what has happened between this gap here? Second chapter, 7th sloka and 18th chapter, 73rd sloka. What has happened? I would like to know. What did Krishna do? What magic he does? What did he did? What is the kind of a thing, counseling, different techniques he has used so that he could transform somebody who was a bundle of nerves before the examination hall? Has to now next time when he went to the exam, he went with all the like a positive mind and could write the exam. That is what my interest in this is. That is where my entry into Bhagwad Gita has come into this. This is what the thing. That's how, as a psychiatrist, this is what this thing is. That I think it's not like let us see what like how it happened, and then what all the things Krishna has done. Now, when you look at this. Now, next 5-10 minutes, I'll keep Bhagavad Gita aside and let's talk about some of the things which is, we all talk about emotional mind and then what is our choices, why did Arjuna choose that and all that. Viktor Frankl is a neurologist and psychiatrist. This is a famous quotation of his which I liked very much. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Fantastic. The stimulus, the war, the preparation for the war, and the response was the space. In that space is my power to choose And Arjuna chose something, and that response lies my growth and freedom. Viktor Frankl was now like an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist, and very specifically, he was a Holocaust survivor. He was in the Nazi concentration camps. These are all the three concentration camps: Theresienstadt, Auschwitz, and then Kaufering. If you just Google Auschwitz, you see that it's now like a group of almost about 40 concentration camps. Like some time back when I went to Austria, I sort of, we went to one of the concentration camps, and we saw now like how many people can be cramped into that. And then I even saw that gas chambers, and then where the people are taken saying that they're going for a shower, and then exactly like shower cities that from where gas is released, and the people are there. And Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist. He was the founder of logotherapy. Actually, this reason why I thought I'll talk about this here. And then somebody also talking about existential and then humanistic psychologies. Logotherapy is something which Viktor Frankl started, meaning healing through meaning. He wrote a book, Man's Search for Meaning. I'll talk about the meaning part of it maybe next 3-4 minutes. Based on his experience in the concentration camps, the man's search for meaning. This I think may not be, we cannot discuss a purpose in life to feel positive and then immersively imagining what he talks about it. This is the only way a concentration camp prisoner can survive. I think that is what talked about. And then existential and then humanistic psychology. Jean-Paul Sartre was existential school, one of the like great philosophers. As a student, I was greatly interested in this humanistic psychology, Carl Rogers and client-centered therapy. And this is also, like I'll make a mention about it, existential school, Jean-Paul Sartre is mainly existential anxiety, encounter with nothingness. That is one of the like a main central themes of this existential schools is that encounter with nothingness, existential anxiety, and the famous quotation is, you are your choices. You are your choices. That's it. That is what Jean-Paul Sartre is. This encounter with nothingness, sir, please remember that. I'll touch upon it maybe later. Encounter with nothingness is nothing but kind of a death. Encounter with nothingness is, I'm not, me going to be nothing after some time. That's what we're going to talk about. Carl Rogers says, it's wonderful. The theory-wise humanistic psychology is one of the great things. They have a phenomenal confidence in each human being as an individual on becoming a person. It's a wonderful book, client-centered therapy. Actually, as a student, a few patients, I even practiced this client-centered therapy, writing down the notes and verbatim recording and all those things. But right, I think I told you, now I don't even use the word psychotherapy. What is the reason, Dr. Reddy? No, whatever it is, I don't even use that. That's it's become like that. And then the most fantastic thing about humanistic psychology is it's non-judgmental. Why I brought this today is that Krishna, to a large extent, except in the initial period of it, he was non-judgmental, which is very, we all are become very judgmental. We all judge others left, right, and center. The non-judgmental approach is, as now somebody said that when it is non-judgmental, it becomes Rangabhumi. When it is judgmental, it becomes Ranabhumi. So this non-judgmental attitude, the humanistic, and then existential school also, I think there are one or two questions also which came about existential school. I'll also talk about it. Now, right, I think, right. Yeah, meaning, right. I think this is what I was talking about. This now like a man's search for meaning is the book, The Meaning, right. All the animals, they have, they crave for food, shelter, pleasure, fear, death, which is common to all the animals. For human beings also, all these things are there. Now, like food is very, very important, shelter, some pleasure, and then fear of which is very common, the emotion. And death, we all know that so-called encounter with nothingness is going to happen. We're all going to die. But human beings is the only animal, I think, which differs from other animals in trying to see that meaning. I think as humans, all of us, what is the purpose of my life? My meaning, the value, the purpose. We all try to see that there is some meaning in my existence. I think that is what Viktor Frankl talked about, man's search for meaning. I believe that is one of the most popular books, and then one of the 10 books which changed, like very influential books in the last century. Like the meaning we all have, all of us as human beings. What is the meaning of my? We very commonly also, most of our elders keep talking about, what is the meaning of my continuation of life? What is the meaning? The meaning. This is only animals. Maybe they think about it, we don't know, but it's only human being who thinks about purpose, value, meaning. For this meaning, there are two things. One is external validation. Second is internal validation. For the meaning, why am I existing? I don't know whether I can talk about it. External validation. I've been doing this is the 10th webinar I've been doing. The last 10 webinars I did, you people have been very, very generous, and then telling me that, Dr. Reddy, it's a good seminar webinar, it's nice, like some of these things are presented nicely. I used to take the compliments. That compliment was the external validation for have a meaning to be a reasonably good psychiatrist or a professional or reasonably good speaker. External validation. This is the external validation. I don't know whether this can be a reasonably satisfying example for you. If that external validation stops, one day none of you say that it's a good webinar, my meaning for myself gets a little bit crumpled, and then I'll become a little bit vacuum. That is the problem. Our social personality, which to a large extent is dependent on our money and then outside assets, it's all externally validated. The day, as somebody said that, I'm not going to go and buy a diamond today because there's nobody to show. Corona, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not invited anywhere. If I go, they'll throw me out. So what's the point in buying a diamond necklace? I'm not going to buy. So that external validators are not there. The diamond necklace and then beautiful those sarees and all those things are losing their value in the last 3 months. Maybe for another 3-4 months, it's going to happen like that. This is the external validation. Then versus internal validation is validation by my own self, atmanyev atmanatustaha, by self-actualization. Here, I am not saying this for the sake of it. Actually, tell you frankly, I started the webinars with 1 or 2 real genuine feelings. I think when I talked about bipolar 2 is a myth, I talked about. Sir, this is not out of arrogance I'm talking. This is not just to show up. I have a burning feeling in the last few years seeing that bipolar disorder is being overdiagnosed. It's being overdiagnosed and overtreated. In that process, the major depressive disorder is not getting its proper treatment. 89% of treatment gap, which NMHS says that it's so sad. The reason is this. So this was what was burning. When I could talk about it, when I discuss about it, when I could convey that, it's my internal feeling, validation. I am able to do something which, if I'm not saying that people are just going to follow whatever I say, if it can create some doubts, I've done my job. There is some meaning for my being a psychiatrist. Sir, the last before I put a question, I really stretched this. Any number of nth episode, any severity, psychosis, bipolar disorder, whether it is depression or mania, can you promise recovery? I stretched it, which generally medical man will not do that. I'm surprised. It's such a pleasant surprise. 61% of you said that yes, Dr. Reddy. Bipolar disorder, whether it is depression or mania, psychosis, 100th episode, like any severity, any length of time, any duration, I'm going to get him out of it. That day, I said that, great. This is the kind of a feeling I get. Atmaneva, internal validation, maybe I can talk about. Externally is okay. You say that, okay, and you're done a good job, man. Maybe that's the thing, how we differentiate. This is a beautiful quotation by another existential philosopher, Nietzsche. He who has a why, that is, why am I living? Why the meaning to live, can bear almost any how. Beautiful. Somebody who, this is what exactly what, our Viktor Frankl also told, that the prisoner, the concentration camp prisoner, if he has got a why, he can bear almost anyhow. That is how he came out of the concentration camp. Why am I living? What's the purpose of my living? What's the value? What is the meaning? If I can have something that will carry you through all your negative things and difficulties. That is such a beautiful quotation. That's why I thought I'd share with you. And then maybe just I'll add, maybe just not like only human beings have infinite hunger. An animal, once it eats, then forget, the most it will store for the evening or maybe tomorrow. That's it, nothing more. But human beings, hunger is for me, the next month, next year, the whole of my life, whole of my children's life, whole of my grandchildren, grandchildren. This is what actually what that book Sapiens, Noah says that this is the greatest damage agricultural revolution has done, the infinite hunger. I thought I'll just mention it because I'm talking about human being. This is the difference between humans and animals. Now let's go to the stimulus. I talked about what Viktor Frankl talked about. When there between a stimulus and a response, there is a space. Let's look at it. This is a space. And in this space, you have, all of us have the power to choose. Each one of us has our own power to choose. And in our choice lies our growth, our freedom. This is a stimulus. This is a stimulus for whatever Kauravas have done to Pandavas for a period of time. The response is the battle they have talked about. But there is a space. In this space, all the Pandavas decided to go for battle. And then Arjuna came there. He had his own power to choose. In your choice lies your growth, your freedom. This is the most beautiful thing. Now the stimulus is Corona. Corona is there everywhere. I don't think any time on this planet Earth, the whole entire human population on this planet Earth talking about only 2-3 words: Corona, COVID, lockdown, flattening the curve. Everybody knows. Literate, illiterate, America and India, and then our, maybe any village you take, everybody talks about that. It's become that. Now the stimulus is Corona. The response is whether I go and practice or not. There's a space here. The coronavirus thing is there, whether as a doctor, whether I practice or not. The space, I have the power to choose. In my choice lies my growth and then my freedom. Do I practice? Well, I don't practice. If I practice, my God, what's going to? If I don't, I'll today openly I tell you this corona problem. We have a hospital. We are running okay. Suddenly, it happened one day. It's about 2 weeks back. One of my patient and the relative both turned positive. My God, there's a panic. So I quickly dropped my OP thing and then came back and then we stayed for 1 week quarantine. And then we almost sort of closed the entire hospital and then cleared everything, fumigation, everything is done. Then do we start again admissions or we don't start again admissions in this space? The management has to take the choice. Then we all decided that, okay, we'll go ahead, we'll face it as it is, and then we reopened, we admitted. When we admitted 5 patients, by second day evening, RT-PCR, 2 patients were positive. My goodness. What do we do? Again, then the decision immediately was, no, we can't manage it, we close it completely. Then within another 1 hour or 2 hours, all of us had to be, no, we close it, where are we going to? No, we won't close it, we with a different strategy and different. There is a space. We have the power. Choice is ours. Not choosing anything is also a choice. My growth, my freedom. And then how do I choose? This depends on all this. Schemas. That's what now cognitive, R&T Beck talks about cognitive theory. And then space is dynamic. It's never a it's never a particular. It can be 1 second, it can be 1 year. Choices and choosing power is dynamic. 10 minutes before Arjuna chose to battle, just now he says that I don't want to battle. Right, that's how it is. Like, not choosing is also a choice. This is where the emotional mind and rational mind here play a phenomenal role in this, taking the response. Stimulus is there, the response. This is a dramatic thing. There's a battle between these two. What happens? Again, I bring it. Pandava's response was cortical. Arjuna's response was amygdala. But again, same stimulus, same space. This is the two different, same person, two different situations. He reacted like that. This is what I thought. I'll talk about it because most of the times, you remember I told that existential school, Jean Paul Sartre, you are your choices. Do you remember Swami Vivekananda's famous sentence? You are your destiny. You are your choices. You are your destiny. The great man has told that. You are your destiny. You are your choices. So that part also comes in the choosing. When you choose not to fight, I think as a well-wisher, Krishna has to nudge him, say, no, I think something is not right. We have to. Now, how did he do it? That's going to be. This is a stimulus. This is the response. This is a beautiful brain, what it can do. Just like that, I thought I'll show you this. This is a cognitive theory of Aaron Beck, what we repeatedly talk about in the cognitive behavior therapy, negative way of self and schemas, and then logic errors, distortions, all these things will play in taking your decision. Reasonal mind, emotional mind, this is supposed to be the wise mind where emotional quotient is supposed to be. It's not IQ which is important, no, it's EQ which is important. As people said very clearly, IQ will get a job, but it's EQ which will see that you will continue, you will have to, how you manage your job and how you get your promotions and all that. Beautiful. At this point, I think I told you, man is a rational being trying to manage his emotions. Man is an emotional being trying to explain or talk about his decisions rationally. Emotional mind. Amygdala, hippocampus, limbic system is so powerful. I'll show you the next slide, which is the ultimate dominance of emotional mind. I haven't talked about it, but here, Krishna is the counselor. He has counseled Arjuna. He got him out of that negative thinking and then got him into the battle. Wise man, learned man, he knows everything. This is what people sometimes ask me. Psychiatrists know a lot about psychology, about the mind, and then you people learn to read so much about mind. Psychiatrists generally, I think, are very stable people, very mature people, very, not like an all nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Psychiatrists know better than any of the other, like an ordinary human being. It all depends on your personality. That's it, nothing more than that. So just because you have been treating some patients, you have been counseling some patients, you have been doing that thing, that doesn't become you have completely conquered your emotional mind, which is the best example is that, look at this man is Krishna. I think all of you know that. This man is Krishna. This man is Bhishma. Look at this man holding somebody's leg here. There's a reversal of roles here. Where Krishna gave Bhagwad Gita to Arjuna and then got him into the battle. And then he said that at some point of time, he says that Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodha Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha Sammoha Smuti Vibhrama Sruti Brahmcha Buddhinasa Pranasitani. The man who told they were not able to defeat Bhishma got fed up. And then Krishna got so angry, he took a wheel and then trying to attack. He promised before he came into this saying that I will not carry a weapon in the battle. I am only going to be there guiding and then charioting that's it, nothing more than that. He broke his own promise. He got so angry, he took the wheel and he's going to attack Bhishma. The counselor, the psychiatrist, the learned man, the wise man. And this man whom he taught, he's holding his leg saying that don't do that. You're going to break the whole lot of things. You're going to break your promise. It's going to be total kind of a disaster. Neural hijacking of rational mind. Now all of us understand how powerful this is, emotional mind is. And a quiet sitting state, everybody tells everybody, don't worry, man. Why are you worried? Why do you think about it? You should have willpower. You should do. very easily we tell others. When it comes to me, I am a bundle of nerves. I crumple, I slump. That is what this is. You can't have a better example, but domination of emotional mind, where Krishna himself lost his temper, lost his cool, he completely lost his senses and then took his and then about to attack Bhishma. Why this happened? Maybe this, you don't know. This is a reptilian brain, this is paleo-mammalian, and this is new neocortical cortex and all things. It is the paleo-mammalian brain, that is the limbic system, where the pictorial, they said this is reptilian amphibians. Here they said they looked at, put a monkey here. Because like monkey, I don't know. So they're supposed to be very labile and then emotionally, like highly fluctuating. They don't have particular character. That may be the reason this is there. And this is a human being. It's not like humans have this more of this cortex. The dominance of limbic system over the cortex. That is what this is, the limbic system. One is that it's a oldest hardwiring is one of the reasons that could have happened. Maybe that's it. This again, this is Arjuna, and actually our Krishna is supposed to be like this. He can turn everything in his brain on his, but he himself succumbed to that. That's only one incident. Now let's go to that. I think I've taken more than almost an hour now. Now let's go to see thing like, yeah, right. Acute situational anxiety. This is not very clearly said. This is not applicable to bipolar major disorder. No, nothing at all. This is only for this. Whatever we talk about is only for this. Battlefield, single session therapy, and then no time limit. Generally, we say 45 minutes to 1 hour. It's not there. Counselor is a relative of the patient. Generally, when it's a relative, we don't take him up for counseling, but he's not like, And then therapy stays with the client through the crisis. Somebody asked me, did you have any lesson from Bhagwad Gita? And said that this is one. Here, the therapist stays with the client through the crisis. He just didn't counsel, but he stayed with him throughout the war. Doesn't mean that I'll go and sit right there. I'll go to the examination hall along with my client to sit there to write the exam or help him there. No. But what I started doing is that at least select patients, some of them, I keep in touch with them. I don't drop them at the end of 3 sessions or 4 sessions or 1 week. I keep whoever needs, who I feel that still they have the problem, I give a call to them saying that, hello, how are you? It's making a huge difference that staying with the client a little bit. This is what I learned from this. It is helping in certain situations. I can't say that with every patient you can do that, but with some of patients it helps. Somebody asked me, is it Karma Yoga, Bhakti or Sankhya? It's a menu card. Non-judgmental menu card, it's widely eclectic. You like Karma Yoga, go ahead and do that. Karmanyavadikarasya, or emotional Bhakti Yoga, right? I'll take care of you. Cognitive, you become Gnani, and then that's what Krishna has given the entire menu card to that, which I think we'll discuss in the next few minutes. I'll quickly run through that, what are all the things which he has done. But even Krishna initially lost his temper. I told you non-judgmental. See, I think I was telling you, okay, at some point, it was non-judgmental Rangabhumi. Krishna mostly non-judgmental, but immediately after Arjuna Vishada Yogam, he got shocked. He got angry and saying that, what is that you're talking? Klaibyam masmagamahapadana yetat supapadate chudram hrudaya daudbalyam Tyaktot tvesta parantapa chudram hrudaya daudbalyam Klaibyam masmagam. He calls him impotent. Arjuna, you become impotent. Klaibyam masmagamuparda nayetat supapadate. It's not the way you do. Chudram hrudaya daudbalyam Tyaktot tvesta parantapa. That is the only time he lost his temper. And after that, again, he got his cool back. And then now you go back to the different yogas. If you look at this, Sankhya Yoga, the very first start with here, Asocyananvasochiswam Pragnavadamsya Bhashase Gatasuna Gatasumsa Nanusochanti Pandita. That is, you're talking about certain things which nobody talks about, none of the wise men talk about. Here, let us see that Jatasya Dhruvam Mrityu, Dhruvam Janma Mritasya Tasmada Pariharyade Natvam Sochitu Marhasi. Here, I told you, this one when I talk about it, Jatasya Dhruvo Mrityu. Correct. Everybody who is alive has to die. There's no doubt about it. Dhruvam Janma Mrutasya Cha. This one, I will not talk about it because I don't know. I don't believe in it, and then I can't talk about it. That's where I always keep like saying that I don't know about it. But here, did I talk about existential school encounter with nothingness? Existential anxiety, encounter with nothingness is encounter with death. So I think maybe it's only Hindu philosophy it is there. Now like in Christian and then Muslim philosophy, there's nothing like a rebirth. When you think about you have done so much and then so many years, 40 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years you have lived and then all these things and suddenly you're going to die and then nothing. It creates a lot of anxiety. Maybe that is the reason why Krishna talks about Dhruvam Janma Mrutasya Cha. No, no, no. Whatever you are going to kill, they are going to come back. In the same way, he says that Vasam Sajidnani Yada Vihaya Navani Gruhnati Naroparani Tadha Sariraya Vihaya Jidnani. The way you remove their old clothes and then throw it, the Dehi, inside the Atma also going to remove your body and then throw it. So he's trying to now like give a kind of a solace to Arjuna. Arjuna's guilt is that he's going to kill all these people. So he says that no, 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 it's okay. They're going to come back again. They're going to come back again. That is what he tries to say that, and then says that Vasam Sajidnani Yada Vihaya Navani Hatigaroparani Tada Sarirani. So he's trying to know, like, and explain, saying that you're killing them, but again they're going to come back. But how much logically it stands, it's going to be. Same thing he says, Nainam Chindan Sasrani, trying to differentiate between Atma and the body. They're not trying to differentiate. Here again, Adachetvam imam dharmam sangramasya karishyasi tadas swadharmam kirtincha hitva papam avasasi. You remember, Arjuna talked about ahopata mahat papam kartum vyavasitavaya. Arjuna said, I'm here doing a papam, sin. Here what Krishna says is that this your dharma as a kshatriya is, this is what Dr. Sukumar has objected to. He actually inculcated and then he pushed Arjuna saying that kshatriya, this is your dharma, you have to go and fight. Otherwise, this is a papam. That is what I think. That is what Sukumar was referring to. This is about cognition, but the idea is removing the guilt, nothing much. And then this is what about this? And then this is, I think Bhagwad Gita is the only, as far as I know, religious teaching where action, act, do something, do something, do something, do something. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu katachana ma karma phala heturbhu mate sangos swakarmani. This is a wonderful thing. This absolutely, somebody who can practice this is not easy. This is not easy at all. As somebody said that, how can I do something without looking at the fruits of it? But it also takes a long time for us to understand this. I don't know whether I can talk about it. I was struggling with this, how to understand this. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu katachana. You have right only on this action, not on the fruits of it. Ma karma pala heturbu. You should not say that I am responsible. It's because of me it happened. At the same time, last he says that mate sangos akarmani. Akarmani, not doing any work. You should not be because of that. Performance anxiety we should talk about. We all talk about. I talked about that brilliant student who is going for the exam. Why did he have the problem? Performance anxiety. You have done everything. You are worried about your performance. If it is removed, maybe I think that it can explain. Informed action, detached action. Yeah, right. I think somebody asked me whether for that. Bhagavad Gita is for the household. It's not for the hermits. He talks all the time about doing something, taking care of something and managing something. He doesn't talk about withdrawing yourself into this. I don't know. I think it is one. This is for the householder. This is about behavioral. Action is nothing but behavioral kind of thing. Here, what he was talking is that you have to have a behavioral change. This is what you're supposed to be doing, whether it is graded activity or some kind of a behavioral change. He talked about logic, cognitive change, removal of the guilt by saying that Dhrom Janma Mritasya or Vasam Sajidnani. Here he talks about it. Right. We are coming to the existential. I told you, you are your destiny, you are your choices. I think like Sukumar talked about Shankaracharya, Advaitam. Yes, sir. Nothing like Advaita. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, sir, you also have to understand Advaita is a slightly higher intellectual plane. People have to, everybody cannot understand. So maybe people go from Dvaitam to Advaita. Uddhared Atmanatmanam Atman Avsadayet Atmaive Atmano Bandhuratmaiva Ripuratmanva. This is the summary of Advaitam. Uddharet, you have to develop. Atmanam, you have to do self-development yourself. Uddharet Atmanatmanam, Atman Avsadayet, Atmaive Atmano, Bandhuri. Yourself is, you are your own enemy, you are your own friend. It's all in yourself. Aham Brahmasmi. That's what Shankaracharya told. There's nothing outside. You have to do yourself. Uddharet Atmanatmanam. You are your choices. Existential school of Sartre, Jean-Paul Sartre. And the same thing, you are your destiny. That's what Swami Vivekananda told. This is a beautiful sloka of Atma Samyama Yoga. For the one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do, it's your own enemy. That's what I was talking about. Your own choices, client-centered therapy of humanistic schools. So somebody asked me whether existentialism or existential school has been discussed in Bhagwad Gita. Bhagwad Gita, one thing is that he talks about a variety, it's a platter. It's a platter. When it comes to intellectualization, cognition, he takes about, he says that that's beautiful. Nahignanena sadrusam pavitram hevidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kale natmani vindati antadu. Gnanam is your intellectualization is the best entered. Then it comes to the action, karmanyavadikara, this is beautiful, you go and do that. Then when it comes, I am killing this person, what, and you are not killing, he is not getting killed. This is a kind of a cycle which is going on. This is how a therapist or a patient, I have to see that the guilt is removed. I have to see that the anxiety is removed. I have to see that the negative emotions are coming out. How you do it? Different techniques. This is what Adi Shankaracharya. Sadasivam Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam. After Ishvara, people put Shankaracharya as the second. He is another man. Lord Swami Vivekananda and then Shankaracharya. Both of them died around 30s. So sad. Now, he tried to explain. He tried to sort of talk about the action. He tried to give Gnana, nothing is working. Now, I don't know whether I can use this term, but I say that Krishna has gone into Vishwarupa. Pashyame Partha Rupani Seta Soda Sahasraha Nanam Dhani Divyani Nana Varna Krutani Cha. Pashyame Partha, come see. Seta Sahasra Soda. Hundreds of thousands of my forms. Nana Vidhani Divyani. Different colors, different shapes, different things. You come and see. This is what? Vishwarupa. I think I did talk about in the beginning. I'll try to give a non-religious kind of a thing. It talked about. I'm not looking at Krishna as Avatara, Srimanarayana, and anything. He is another friend, philosopher, guide who's trying to help Arjuna. Wise man, learned man, worldly wise man, talking about. Then how do you explain Vishwarupa? I was struggling with that also. But now, maybe let's look at this. I'll again take now like an Vishwarupa, maybe a symbolic sense he's talking about. When somebody comes into my consultation room, I have two nicely framed almiras, glass almiras, kept behind me, where all the mementos, wherever I go, whichever conference I go, whichever talk I give, people give me some mementos. A lot of you must be throwing it. But I carry it and then put it neatly, stack it in all the, almiras. What is that I'm doing? Why am I doing that? The patient who walks in, when he walks in, he looks at me, he also looks at the things behind my back. Oh, this doctor seems to be, All India Radio has given, TV9 has given this, and then he is in South Zone. He has, so that's so. Oh, he seems to be, giving talks, and then he seems to be like a popular. Whatever. Is it a miniature version of Viswarupam? We are trying to tell our patients that I am good man, I am great man, I am capable, I can do these things. Is it that? Maybe I think that is what Krishna is doing. I don't say anything beyond that. So that is where I can say that, relate to that, saying that this may be, but different people understand it differently. That different thing, but that is what I look at Vishwarupa. But even that did not work. That doesn't work. He's been trying everything. So bhakti. Here again, Ananyas Chintayanto ma yejana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogachema vahamiham sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami masacha. Here again, somebody may say that. How can somebody say that? Sarvadharman parityajya. You leave everything and then come to me, I am going to take care of it. I am the concept of larger than life and the God is coming up. No, sir. No. See, if you can interpret it that way, saying that I have the powers, I can control, and then I can give you this kind of a boons and all those things. No, I'm not looking at it that. Don't we as doctors sometimes tell the patients like that? Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami teva. Don't worry, ma. Don't bother about all those things. I'll take care of you. I'll take these medicines for the next 4-5 days. If there's any problem, you call me. I'll take care of your son. I'll get him all right. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm here. Don't worry. How often we tell our patients, at least half of the patients believe, Sarva Dharman, you leave everything. Mamekam Saranam Raja, you listen to me only. I'll give you the medicine. I'm going to do something good. But before that, there has to be confidence established in me. That is why all the mementos and then all those decorations there, which has come as a Vishwarupam, I am building up. Sarvadharman Parityajya, he talks about in 18th chapter, not before that. Bhakti Yoga is in the 10th or 11th chapter, but he comes in the 18th chapter. So, I am not looking at Vishwarupam as kind of cosmic form, which I believe, I don't know, I believe this nuclear scientist Oppenheimer has equated nuclear bomb explosion to, he says that Krishna's cosmic form. I look at it Vishwarupa in the common sense, in the day-to-day sense as this. Sarvadharman Parityajya, when I talk about it, I'm not looking at a grandiosity or somebody who can say that I'm here, don't worry, it's not that. But I'm looking at it in the common man sense, then that kind of a confidence we need to give, that kind of a positive feeling you need to give in the counseling process. I'm not saying that irrationalistic, promises you don't do, but some kind of a positive cognition you have to inculcate in the patient's mind. Whether this is what he has been doing, I don't know. So we did talk about, right, I can do for you. Karma, you can do this. And then this is the jnana. So here, so much is sort of run through this, so many of these 500 slokas. I think somebody talked about, yes, is it Guru Chela? Sir, now we have seen Krishna struggled so much to get this, your Arjuna to accept, okay, I'll go back to war. I think when we talk about Krishna coming from Andhra Pradesh, I cannot help but showing N.T. Ramarao's picture here. Absolutely personification of things like that. This man is sitting here so sad. He has tried everything. See, second chapter, Sankhya Yoga is supposed to be very important. People say that. If you read second chapter, that is enough. You don't have to read Bhagwad Gita. Like so much of a knowledge and then wisdom, everything is there in that. That's what people say. Second chapter. So Krishna has done his, whatever the counseling in the entire second chapter, 70 to 73 slokas. So it's supposed to be such an important, such a useful, so much of wisdom in that. So after listening to all that, you know what our Arjuna says? Sir, Jawar Saab, व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयो अहमाप्नुयाम्. You have been talking all sorts of things, man. I don't want all those things. Tadekam, one, Nischitya, definitely, Vada, please tell me. Yena Sreyo Ahmapnya. The counselor is, the therapist, the doctor is thinking that he is talking about so many important things and then so much of nice things and all those things. At the end of 10th session, patient asks, sir, when are you starting counseling? You're playing with the words and clouding my mind. Tell me, he is not a chela who is just accepting whatever Krishna says. And then another most important thing is the later, fourth chapter, Krishna says at one point, look man, I am telling you, I am giving you all the tips. I am giving you all the gnana. I am giving you all the knowledge, which actually I taught Surya, sun sometime back. He says that I taught Surya and then Manu, those people, and then now I am telling you because you are very close to me. Then Arjuna asks him, Aparam bhavato janma, param janma vivasvataha, khatametad vijaniyam tvamado proktavanite. You have come to this world just before me. Param janma vivasvataha. Surya has been there, param, it's anadi. Surya has been on this in this universe, God knows how many millions of years, and you are born before that. How do I believe that you're telling me that you taught Surya and you're born yesterday? Khathametad vijaniyam tomado. How can I believe? So he is doubting Krishna when he says that I have taught these people. So he's questioning. This is what I say, that argumentative. This is the point. Krishna didn't have any choice. He said that, sir, Ari, how can you talk like that? You're telling a lie, almost like he's telling Krishna, you're telling a lie. That is where he says that, okay, I can't help it. That's where he says, Paritranaya sadhu nam vinasaya dushrutam dharma samsthapanadhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Every yugam I am coming here. This is only this. People also are there. Abhyudhanam adharmasya tadatmanam swajamiham. So he has to explain himself saying that, yes, I have been coming to this world many times, and that is when I taught Surya. So that is how the Arjuna didn't believe him at all along. Hundreds of questions. So it's not a simple Guru-Chela relationship, sir. So lastly, when we are coming to this, what worked? Now, some of you must have to help me. Is it simple catharsis of Arjuna talking about it? Is it a cognitive Gnana Yogam, all those distortions, misinterpretations which have been cleared? One thing which is very, very important is you need to do your action. Karmanevadikaraste. There's nothing to beat that. You're a Kshatriya. This is your Swadharma. Your decision is amygdala decision, which has been. You cannot supersede the cortical decision taken by the entire group. That is where you have to go back to work. You are your destiny. The space. You are the choice. Your choice depends on your growth and your freedom. And you have to take that. And personality. And then, like, all this I talked about, ultimately, you trust me, I can do this thing. Out of this, which worked? So at the end of it, if you ask me, say you told all those things, which worked? That is what exactly happens in the so-called counseling process. You discuss many things. At one point, at some point, patient starts feeling better. You can't say that in this particular thing it helped. So we all generally talk about eclectic therapies. So at the end of it, the man who was saying that Sisisteham Sadhimam Tvam Prapanyam, he came saying that Nasto Moh Smutir Labda Prasadan Mayachuta. This is the stage he has been brought into. Counseling successful, battle is fought, victory. This is what Krishna has done. You cannot pinpoint, but several things which has happened here. That's why I said it's a menu card. different things. You choose your thing, but when you choose something, you do it. In the space, you take an action. There can be a lot of action, reactions also will be there, but that determines your growth, your freedom, as Viktor Frankl told. What mattered is not so much the content, personal transformation of a positive kind. This is what is the most important thing. Who is the therapist? What is the school? What is the patient? No, no, no. These are not important. How much of a positive transformation we can bring in him? Whatever may be the techniques, hundreds of things will play in the interactions. This is what is going to be the most important thing. I think, yeah, right. Now our amygdalas, all medical people here, our amygdalas and then cortex have come to the Amazon mug, sir. This is what Amazon mug, my amygdala could beat up your prefrontal cortex. This is the emotional mind could beat up your rational mind. That is what it is about. Thank you very much. There are a few questions. Let me see that there seem to be quite a lot of questions, sir. Here, it's very difficult. It's a bipolar disorder. Maybe I could make a serious attempt, but now it's Bhagwad Gita. Let me see how much I can discuss with you. Some of those things. So, right. It's counseling. Define spirituality, right? See, like it's number one, it's difficult. I cannot define spirituality, but spirituality, I look at it something which is sans religion. It's your attitude of life, attitude of my day-to-day conducting myself, how I conduct myself, my attitudes, my choice. That is what I look at it as spirituality. It has nothing to do with what is the reason for Krishna to repeatedly talk about him being, right, yes, exactly. I know that question. Why? How can Krishna talk about, I am the God, I am the Lord, I am the ultimate being? Definitely, sir. That is where the question comes. I understand. That is why I said that in a situation like that, don't worry, ma, I'll take care of that. Is saying that I don't say exactly like somebody, the nearest that somebody wants to talk. Hello? Yeah, that is how I look at it as more of a symbolically than anything else. And let me tell you, after talking about God, Lord, ultimate being, he himself became a victim of emotional mind when he took the wheel and then jumped onto Bhishma to attack him. Right? Does principles of Gita apply in today's? Sir, here the principles in the sense, he talked about karma yoga. He clearly talked about without work and just going for sannyasa, nothing works. Informed action, detached action. I think it works every time. It's relevant at any point of time for all of us. There's no doubt about it. And then there are lots of, I don't know about it, a lot of management techniques coming out of Bhagavad Gita. Talk about it. This is the principle. You do it. You try this. What is the thing? When he talked about, let us look at this. Karmanya vadikaraste, it's good. You work, but every day, see, like as a as a medical practitioner, I start my practice. I have to start practice. I build my practice. I get more clients. From day one, I start looking at how much of money by evening I got, how much of name I got. Ma phaleshu katachana. That's what he said. Very clearly. Give it some time. Give it some time. Things will. That is the kind. Some amount of informed, detached action is very, very important. Especially a lot of youngsters. Everybody wants to become a millionaire by evening. That should not be. That becomes more relevant. At the same time, he also gives importance to. I told you, gnana. Very clearly. Nahi gnanena sadrusyam pavitramehi vidyate. Nothing more important and then more greater than knowledge, wisdom. Very clear. I think he puts it fairly clearly. Is it anxiety or fear? Fear of real danger? Sir, right. Here, I very difficult. I generally also don't differentiate between anxiety and fear. You say the external event or anxiety, it's only the terminologies, maybe because of that. Whichever way you take it, no problem. A person of Arjuna's stature, it's more or less anxiety. That My point is the person of Arjuna's stature succumbing to that kind of an emotional situation, that time, it can happen to all of us. That is the only point there is that the power again and again, I come back to the emotions, emotional mind, the kind of an influence it can have on that. How can we equate or compare warrior facing a real war, killing people with exam going student? Correct. I only gave an example. It's not exactly going to there. I gave an example where it can be. Yes, Arjuna was upset over killing of his own family members, gurus. Krishna says the duty, exactly, sir. Right. I think this point, maybe let us spend a minute. He is upset over killing his own family members. But this is the man, along with his brothers and all other fellow kings, took a decision to fight a war with Kauravas. At that time, he didn't think about killing them. What is war? What is battle? What is winning? If you have to win, you have to kill Kauravas. So Arjuna was upset. How come he was not upset yesterday, day before, last few years? How come he became suddenly upset now? That is the problem there. That is exactly the problem there. He was not upset at all. He is the one who is part of the decision making process. Rather, he was the one of the almost main roles where he took the decision to go for the battle. So it's not that. It is not that at all. That I think is difficult to. If you are always a kind, if you are always against the battle, definitely violence in any form is sort of not acceptable completely. I agree. And then maybe as you say that Kshatriya dharma, that is where you kill. Maybe if you ask me personally, I have a lot of questions on Mahabharata, lots of questions on that, but somewhere it is. I am only looking at, that's why, sir, I clearly told. As a psychiatrist, as a doctor, I don't think we'll be sitting on the moral, ethical values of the. Only thing is, the person is anxious, worried about to what extent I can help him emotionally. That is the only thing. Beyond that, I think sometimes it may not be. I look at it only in that. Is there a conflict between family, different dharmas? Let us not talk about caste, kula dharmas. Casual seem right. This is where I said that I'm also not very do not understand that swadharma, paradharma it talks about. Why? See, a lot of times we do a lot of small things to sort of push and nudge them. Beyond that, I can't really talk about it. Uh, Rational thinking, but making wonders chicken. Sometimes we need to do. That's exactly what I told. When I put the question, sir, sometime back, if you remember, I very specifically used the word promise. Are you willing to promise? That is a purposefully I put the word. Some of you reacted as a medical doctor, you're not supposed to promise, doctor. You reassure, yes. But my point is, somebody is so depressed, depressive cognitions, whatever you say, he's not going to take it, negative cognitions, hopeless, helpless, he is suicidal, he is about to. We need to be slightly breaking our rules. Promise him. Promise him if you're confident that you are going to become all right. Promise him if it is such a simple viral fever. Promise him if it is a tuberculosis which is going to be treated by, like in your regimen. Don't promise him if it is bronchogenic asthma. But even that time also I don't do. I'll say that 30% will become like that, 20% will become like that. FDA has got it. Uh, we have to be a little bit, sir. We have to be a little bit, sir. FDA said that everybody below the age of 24 years, if we give antidepressant, the risk of suicidality is more. You go and tell your patient, he is telling a fact. But are we doing it right? I think last time also I talked about one TV, like a photographer saying that my duty is just to record and then put it on the TV. Absolute nonsense. You have a social responsibility. You have similar thing like that. That way we are also we have to do. I don't say that just broadly you go and promise everything. Depending on the situation, we need to do it. Arjuna syndrome, I don't know, sir. I don't want to give any names. Is it counseling or convincing? Beautiful question. I don't see much of a difference between that. That's why I told. Basically, I stopped talking about psychotherapy long time back. I don't believe in psychotherapy like CBT. Definitely not. It helps. Education, reassurance, some amount of holding his hand helps. So whatever name you give, I have no problem, sir. It's more magical, less rational, beyond psychiatrist means need not be, sir. Need not be. Little bit of a magic. Don't we use a little bit of a magic? That is what I'm saying. That little bit of that magical thing, it has to be there. Doctor-patient relationship, little bit something more than the prescription has to happen, which we call as a therapeutic alliance. What is that, sir? Where is it working, sir? Therapeutic alliance, rapport. Where is it working? That is, you may say magic. I don't want to say it magic, but there is something uh, cast very clearly. I don't think I have any time touched the word caste in my last 1 hour of talk, and I didn't touch about Sanatan Dharma because purposefully, my purpose of my talk today is not to talk about broadly the whole thing about it. It's only I am interested in what is the counseling process. Is there any lesson? Is there anything which we can? If there's something, we'll take it. I put it very clearly. Nothing to do with MDD, bipolar, and then nothing. Simple anxieties, panics, depression. We are all treating with holding his hand, and then maybe somebody said that I'll give a small dose of clonazepam. Go ahead, sir. No problem. Nothing else at all. But broadly, it may apply to the non-psychological issues also in our day-to-day life also. It may. So caste and Sanatana Dharma, let's not talk about that, sir. Glorify yoga, sankhya, nyaya, all Indian darsana are given like sugar coating is very important, sir. Otherwise, tablets people won't take. If the tablet is bitter, people won't take. We need to have a little bit of a sugar coating for that, which is necessary, sir. There is no. Gita is not meant for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Absolutely. Never should this be all by you to one who is not austere, who is not a devotee, not who is not willing to listen, not certainly him. All right. Here maybe I differ. See what is somebody is saying that you should not talk this to somebody who is not a devotee, who is not willing to listen, who is certainly not who transduces. I have not a problem. My job is to talk. Talking does not ensure listening. It's up to you, sir. I all see like, sir, we all know that out of 1 hour of any lecture we sit, we listen only for 10-15 minutes, not more than that. So my job is not conversion. My job is putting it across. Take it. If you feel like the same way as I told that bipolar disorder overdiagnosis, there's a lot of criticism. You know that when I said that bipolar 2 disorder is a myth, there's a lot of criticism. People are very unhappy with me. People are very angry with me. Fine, no problem. We can discuss. So that way, it's up to whoever it is. Needs Viktor Frankl, they both, for somebody who has got a why, he will have how true that is. And then space, everything depends on, which is beautifully enough quotations. uh, Authority role, Krishna has changed Arjuna. Somebody said that Guru Chela, but I showed you. He was questioning. He never accepted what you said, like at some point of time, right? Maybe that's why I said that the first thing I said is catharsis, or maybe time itself. Opposite of CBT. Or CBT, I talk less about CBT, it's better, so I don't want to talk about it. You're seeing it in a context of war. Aha, this is correct. Context of war, I don't understand because this is beyond me. I see in a different way of things, but I see PTSDs. I see people who go into extreme stress. That's it. Maybe exact situation of war, maybe I don't see. Krishna justified his actions through a saint beauty being born in human form. I don't know. That's why I told you. Humans differ from animals in trying to, they have a craving for a meaning. Maybe somebody says that even animals have, you and me don't know. I can't say that I don't know. But we all we want to have a meaning. There's a meaning, there's a purpose. We all look for it. When there's no purpose, there's a big vacuum for us. We create sometimes, that's what, no, like, now I told you about an external validation, internal validation, that could be. And that, but like human form, whatever the form, let's not look at that. Arjuna was fighting for a principle and had it frozen and collapsed. What would have a different outcome? That's exactly. It's a collective decision. I told you, all the entire family has decided on a decision, went out, and then one person decides otherwise, the decision collapses. The whole thing is a chaos there. That is the kind of that. Specific packages based on Gita, I don't think there is anything. See, as I told you that if you look at counseling, if somebody can correct me, there are supposed to be some 250 or 300 or 350 counseling different types of techniques. Each person has got his own technique, whatever it is, starting from Gestalt to CBT to psychoanalysis to analytically oriented to DBT. To what extent it works? Counseling. The reason why I talked about psychotherapy, I think last time also I was very, very clearly talking about CBT, is that is it applicable in the average Indian setting in the management of depression? 15 sessions or 20 sessions, each session for 1 hour, is it going to be applicable, replicable, accessible? That is what I asked about last time. Okay. Good. Verses full of judgments about everything. Right. Some of the verses. No. See, like we have to look at, see, like out of 550 slokas, there are some judgmental things, but broadly, I told you, very first, second chapter, very first, second sloka, he became judgmental and shouted at him, you become an impotent and all. After that, we are taught and we are supposed to be non-judgmental in our relationship or in our dealing with our patients. You have no right to say that. You can say that this cannot be the way. Right or wrong is not our job. That is what I mean. Is yeah, exactly. I don't know much about the Bible and Quran, but broadly what I know is that it's Christianity and then Islam do not have this concept of rebirth. And I don't know whether I can say this at this point of time. I am a Hindu. I don't want to talk about this. But basically, I don't have much of belief and rebirth. That's why I told that Jatasya Dhruvam Ruchu. I say very firmly, Dhruvam Janma Mrutasya, I vaguely put it. I even say that I don't know, sir. Dhruvam Janma Mrutasya, I don't know, sir. But the first one I say that. So, don't know. It's not a soul. It's a kind of, maybe you can talk about the attitudes, mind. There's nothing like a separate thing as a soul or Atma, Pretatma. No, we are not talking about that. All religion-based helps are faith-based ones for the select few. Need not be. That's exactly the reason. I think today I tried to be at almost the entire length of my this thing. I did not try to show any magic. I did not try to show any kind of a thing. Even when Krishna tried to attack Bhishma, he took a wheel. He didn't take out his so-called chakra. I have never mentioned, I don't want to. This seems to be broadly, which has been there with us for the last 5,000 years. Do we have something in there? Some of them look great. Atmanev Atmanatista, Udared Atmanatmanam, it looks very good. And then sometimes he says that, no, Asamsehim Mahabaho. Like these are things, it's not easy to become, practice yoga. And then also, if somebody like Arjuna collapsing like that, this kind of a force, the kind of a power of whatever you call it, it is happening, that's it. Right. See, I don't, that's why I clearly mentioned, to my knowledge, this seems to be mostly the religious or whatever the books talk about, sannyasa, withdrawal. This is one to talk about, go out. That's what somebody told, the difference between a zero and an infinite. This is an infinite. You go out and do. I don't have any evidence to say that. But one thing, Charvakas are mostly kind of called as like atheists, but this also subject to correction. Sometime back, Bhagavad Gita is oldest. No, sir, definitely not oldest. Before that, see, it's broadly the philosophy is divided post Gita, pre Gita. Vedas and Upanishads are supposed to be pre Gita. Buddhism and Jainism came a bit later, definitely. What I'm saying, I was saying, yeah, I've talked about something. I read somewhere, Lord Buddha, he practiced asceticism in a complete control over the body, all the like indriyas, total control. I think we all see some pictures of Buddha. It's nothing but the skin and bones. We have seen the pictures of it. He's supposed to practice the total asceticism, not eating, completely praying, sitting under the like an above the tree arbor. 12 years he is supposed to have practiced that. At the end of 12 years, with that kind of a total starvation, total, it's virtually like total control of the body, he felt, no, this doesn't seem to be the correct way. I don't think by making my body sushka, I am not going to achieve any kind of realization. So he started again looking for eating more and all, which a lot of his disciples misunderstood him and left him. This man has left all his ascetic lifestyle and then came back. This I don't know. But I felt it is correct because lot of us look down on the body, talk so much about the mind. For me, body is the vehicle. Body is the vehicle which experiences and then expresses your mind. You have to take care of your body very well. You have to nourish your body very well. That doesn't mean that like you become 200 kgs or something like that. You take care of your body. Body is an important thing. We all talk about mind. All body's experience and expression happens only through body. So by making body deteriorate, he may not achieve anything. I don't know. That's what I feel. Gita is after Buddha. No, sir. I think it's before, but now like after. See, like here again, I think we are going into totally different things. Gita after it was there for a long time. It was dormant. It was Adi Shankaracharya around the 7th or 8th, in a century. He brought it back when in his Bhagavad Gita, what is that? Bhajagovinda slokas, Bhagwad Gita, Kinchidadita, Ganga Jalalava, Kanika Pita, Sakudapiyena Murari Samarcha, Krite Tasya Mena Nachachan. He brought Bhagwad Gita once again into the public life. I don't say it's a only ancient book, maybe one of the ancient books. Point between 400, maybe before that, sir. See, like thing is that I think once again we are going into a different thing. What is the period for Bhagavad Gita? I don't think that is important, but whatever little I know, it has happened only after the domestication of a horse, because chariots and then horses were used. Latest that Indus Valley, whatever the civilization, according to that, it is a little bit before that. Right. Placing memento in a chamber, right? I don't see it serves any other purpose other than trying to show off everybody that I have attended so many conferences. I have all those mementos are useless pieces of fun. No, like I should not be saying that. I have 20 pieces all around. Why am I keeping? Why am I keeping? Who I want to show? I have got it. This is the external validation to every day to my patient, which I am trying to see as a miniature form of Vishwarupa. Why do we have to? Yeah, right, correct. Why should we debate which came first and all things? That is totally immaterial here about the meaning. Authorship is unreliable. See, like that's again. No. I think please don't bother about. It's not the Viktor Frankl alone what is important. It's not the Nietzsche important. What is that he wrote is important. Forget about the authors, sir. If you remember authors also, right? Telling, so So nice of you telling them. Otherwise, don't worry about it. It's not the authors which are important, it's the content which is important. Yeah, right. A lot of editing would have happened. Use practice and seeing how it works, right? If it works, you take it. If it's not, then let it go. It has to be in that sense. If it works, if I feel that there seem to be some element of something which I can take it, take it. Otherwise, right, whatever it is, it's up to you. I don't want to talk about this. The dogma is very much not there. It's free. It's up to you. Concept of karma. Maybe I don't think I should talk about it, but because this is beyond the once again it goes to the past lives and all things which I don't want to right now. Let us not discuss about karma and all those things, vasanas and karmas and all those things, and then assertiveness. I don't think you say that Arjuna does not have assertive tendency. He is one of the he ran kind of fought the battles on his own. He fought with Shiva. How can we say that Arjuna doesn't have assertiveness? Right. Okay. Definitely, sir. Please don't ask me whether about afterlives and heavens and all these things. I don't know. Very clearly, I don't know, sir. Definitely. Right. Thank you very much. Thanks. And then this is what I just want to share as I was talking about. So once again, thank you very much. This is the 10th webinar. All of you have been here with me. Wonderful. Really, I'm grateful, and then thank you so much. A lot of inspiration, whatever, whether I call it external validation or something, it has come to me. It's very, very gratifying. I've been doing it every Tuesday. What I thought is that now I think it's becoming a little bit, every week is getting too much to everybody. So now let's see that for some time, let's give it a gap. After that, maybe a month later or sometime, I'll come back to you. Thank you very much for being with me all these 10 weeks. I'll see you sometime next week. Thank you very much, sir. Great. Good night to all of you. Thanks. Don't be too familiar with the patient. I gave up all those things. I made it a point. Some people who are having, I call them, how are you? It making immense difference. That holding his little finger little bit longer, which is something which I learned. Second thing which I learned is that when somebody asks the second, third time, Are saab kab lena? Kitna time lena? How long? I used to get irritated. After I saw Arjuna firing Krishna after the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga, third, I said, somebody like Krishna was fired. What are you talking nonsense, man? Tell me one thing which is important. I don't want to hear all that. Somebody like Arjuna, who is your brother-in-law, is supposed to be avatar, all those things. If you find something like it, if a patient asks me, I better shut my mouth and answer him correctly. These are some of the lessons which I learned. Very minor things, but...
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I am Dr. AVS, sir, from Nizamabad.
Oh, great.
I request you to, sir, I hope you remember me, sir. I request you to session on the practical aspects, what you have learned for this past 30 years, sir, other than bipolar disorder or any topic related, subject related, can you just come out with the experiences? Like you have just told the same thing, sir, that you stopped getting irritated or something like that. You are
nice of you, so thankful to you, but the problem is my only limited thing is about the mood disorder. It has become rest of it virtually. Sometime back also I saw one of the comments, and then I was telling Mr. Chintan also, start looking for people who want to know more about anxiety disorder, schizophrenia and other things. Look for other speakers. So definitely, I think they'll take care of it. Somebody will come and then talk to you about it.
Sir, sorry, sir. My request is not regarding the other topics, sir. I am asking about your personal experiences regarding psychiatry. What you have learned for this past 30 years? Other than any topic, sir, not related to any particular topic.
Yeah, right. See, like one thing I was telling, maybe another 2-3 minutes left. It may most of you may not like it. Most of you may be angry, but I am a little bit harsh on psychotherapies, a whole lot of things, because my point is the two issues. Last time I was talking about, as on today, right now, there are 3 crores people with a major depressive disorder in India. There are only about 7,000, 8,000 psychiatrists. And if a psychiatrist says that I practice CBT sitting with the patient for 1 hour every week like that for 15 weeks, I say it's a criminal. So, and then we don't do something and we go onto the stage saying that every time you talk, eulogizing about various therapies, not knowing anything, which I felt is not right. See, I'll tell you, when we did a survey a few years back, out of 500 psychiatrists, 75-80% of them us told that we practice IPSRT, interpersonal social design therapy. Oh God, I was shocked. I don't know. But when CanMat 2018 came up with that, among the psychosocial interventions, the most valid, most useful, most evidence-based is what? Psychoeducation. These are my learnings. I told you, I used to practice client-centered therapy, sitting for hours with the patient, drafting a whole lot of, I used to like Carl Rogers, and then On Becoming a Person is a wonderful book. But now I say that it may not help much. It helps. Holding somebody's hand always helps. Putting your hand on somebody's shoulder always helps. Inquiring about how are you helps. Definitely helps. That human touch should be there. Beyond that, that is one of the things which I feel of late. Right, rest of the things I keep talking about. We psychiatrists, youngsters especially, you should learn to question, not just accepting whatever somebody said is right. I'll give you one simple example and then close for today. Comprehensive textbook of psychiatry, 10th edition, talks about 14% of population having auditory hallucinations. Do you believe? And they say that they include hypnopompic, hypnagogic, but people should, what is this? What is their definition of hallucination? Something like that. I was telling you some time back, I was totally against the concept of the diagnosis of simple schizophrenia. Even today, I say that it's a shame on psychiatry. Simple schizophrenia diagnosis. How can people say that? Simple schizophrenia, without any symptoms, without anything. Call somebody as schizophrenic. And you remember schizoprenogenic mothers? The concepts, sometimes concepts may change. We have to be a little bit more careful. That's the only thing. People come to us with a lot of trust, belief. When we are not able to deliver the goods and talk gibberish and then vague and then what they don't understand, they go away. That's what is happening to psychiatry. As a medical specialty, you people have to see that psychiatry will be established as a valid and then thorough scientific medical specialty. That's the only thing I say that. That's the most important thing right now. Thank you very much, Travius. Thanks.
Let us all unmute and claps for Dr. M.S. Reddy sir on my request.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I think everybody should unmute and let us have a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nice. So much. Good night to everyone. So good. Okay, Chintan, good night. Good night.